Hi everyone, my name is Sabrina and today we are going to play with my new canvases, well this one, and some of my new colors. I have mixed my paints already. I mixed them the usual way. I mixed about 50-50, 1 part to 1 part paint to medium, and then I add 25% water. Those are heavy body paints and they are quite thick, so they need the full 25%. You can go up to 30%, but I like to give myself a little play so I don't go over the 30% mark to not underbind my acrylics. I decided today that I would go blue. I got a variety of different blues, and so I wanted to try them, and the way I will do that is in a swipe. I also got red iron oxide to swipe with and to contrast with the blue paints. I think it's going to be special. I hope it works, and I think the only way we'll know is try. So now I have to show you something. Most of those are hues, imitation of a real color, because cobalt blue, the cobalt pigment, is quite expensive, so most companies will imitate with less expensive but still color light fast pigments to get less expensive paints so more people can buy it and enjoy it and have that color. The thing with hues is they are made with other pigments, like I said, and this one is made of 3 pigments, and those 3 pigments are ultramarine blue, titanium white, and phthalo blue. I made a cheat sheet. I noted the colors with the pigments with the density, so I have a bit of an idea where they stand in that density, but with a mix like that, it's a bit tricky, and since I really haven't tried them yet, I don't know how much they will set up, and I don't know how that will work. So yeah, it's pretty interesting to know. In fact, that's cool to know. I thought I would tell you. I have a primary blue here. They should have just called it phthalo blue because the pigment in it is phthalo blue. I have Cerulean blue, that's phthalo blue, titanium white, and phthalo green. I have ultramarine blue. It's one of my favorite colors, and it's one single pigment, and it's very pigmented. Golden acrylics have heavily pigmented paints. I also have fluorescent blue, and here it's Prussian blue. And Prussian blue is phthalo green, carbon black, and phthalo blue. So I thought that was interesting. It's a hue too, the Prussian blue. Forgot to mention that. And so is the Cerulean blue. I thought it was an interesting fact, and I will see how they interact with the red iron oxide and how they interact with each other, and that will help me judge where they stand in density, because I have no idea in which ratios those pigments are in, and so I have no idea where they exactly stand in density. So we'll experiment. And my favorite way to do that is a swipe, because it's easy to get the red iron oxide on top of the other colors that way, and it's easier to see how they interact that way. So I will zoom you in and get started with that. So I start here with the Cobalt blue. I place my paints on my table the same way I place the container in which I mix the paint, so I know exactly which they are. And then it's the phthalo blue. This one I know the density exactly. Cerulean blue. And my favorite of all, the ultramarine blue. And a little touch of fluorescent blue. And since this is a rather long swipe, what I'll do is just a line in the middle here, and a drop apparently. I like the contrast, so I think it will work nicely. The colors anyway. Now to see it fit, if it will set up. Let's swipe this. And now I will give you a time lapse so you can see everything appear and form. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. I quite enjoyed watching the paint appear in real time. The paint, yeah, the cells appear in real time. I love the contrast. So yeah, color contrast. Lovely between the red iron oxide, which is more of a burnt orange, and the blues. I expected the phthalo blue and ultramarine blue and fluorescent blue to sell up the most, and I was pretty much right. I have a bit of a cerulean blue in this area and a Prussian blue here that's celled up, but they made like those long cells. I quite like when that happens. It's different, it's a different look than usual, and it's pretty nice. I also like how there's a bit of the iron oxide that came back in the cells here. I'm not sure why that happened. Probably like it sank, but it's still in there, and those cells seem to be fluorescent blue. So I think it's transparent and we see a bit of the red iron oxide underneath. It's pretty neat. I also have a bit of, well, mostly here it's ultramarine blue, ultramarine blue. This looks to be the phthalo blue maybe, not too sure. But lovely cells all around and nice movement here. I think for the long swipe I would have to swipe it maybe twice to make sure I bring as much orange on top of the other colors. But honestly, I'm just happy with how it turned out. So the only thing I would do different is put my line of red iron oxide and maybe put a little line of zinc white in front of it, so when I swipe I bring zinc white on top of the colors, but it wouldn't show because the zinc white is a mixing white and it would sink right away in the other colors, so it would look pretty much like that, maybe a little paler in some area, but I think that's the only thing I would do different. I think it would work nicely, maybe even more cells than what I have. I didn't have maybe a canvas covered with cells, but I got some nice movement around and I'm really happy with that because it's not all about cells really. As much as we like them, it's really not all about them. Love those cells here, the fluorescent blue with the line of I think that's phthalo blue and maybe a bit of ultramarine blue here. I love this cells that's like 3 colors but perfectly outlined, not mixed at all. It's kind of weird but I like it. It's probably going to keep changing a little bit as the paint pour over the sides and keep settling. I used a whole lot of paint in this one. I've never painted this particular format size, so I wasn't sure how much paint I would need, so I mixed too much, but it turned out nice, and I will use the drips for jewelry. I plan on doing that in December. I'd love to start on making jewelry and probably gonna make videos on that too. I'd love that. So yeah, that's about it for my thoughts on this canvas. And we're back! And I am very happy with the result. Can't wait for it to dry. I think the orange, I'm sure that the orange will darken a lot and the blues will also darken quite a bit, and that will enhance the contrast between the both colors. I've been wanting to do that. It's been a little while and I think it's very pretty. Next, I think would be a contrast between blue and copper or something like that. Blue and bronze. It's both kind of orangish color and I think it would be very pretty. I will have to pick the lighter blue because bronze is not that dense. It's mica coated with some metals, or well, I'll have to do my research, of course. But yeah, very happy with how this one turned out. Very, very contrasting, and I can't wait for it to dry. I can't wait to put it under a black light because there's some fluorescent blue in there. And I think it's going to be quite intriguing. I think it's going to be quite interesting under the black light. Just some little parcel of fluorescence here and there. I have some really nice dripping action all around, so I'm not going to touch this, going to leave it to dry as is, and that way I'll have some very nice acrylic skins for the jewelry, as I was talking about. I have a box full of skins that I kept, and I think I'll have a blast doing that. some very, very nice, interesting details in this one, guys. I think this might me want to try 1 meter long swipe. I'm not sure how that would work, but maybe start by a smaller size. Yeah, it's quite pretty though, lovely. I think a 1 meter long swipe would be kind of interesting, but not sure on the logistic of that. So yeah, that's about it for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day. Make sure to subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!